Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Let me see who was here first. What a day. What a day. So, Judy Matassa, thank you so much for being here first. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. But yeah, what a day. What a day. So, I had every intention on going to bed at a reasonable hour, but then the video with Harry came out, and I had to do what I had to do. Um, yeah, so I worked on that, and the next thing I know, it was later and later, or should I say earlier, and it was a very bad hour to go to sleep. But anyway, I'm here. Janice Goodrich, thank you for being here. Lorna Williams, Dan Speed, Ingrid Soares, Mary H. Carol Lund, Compton Cali Gal, Marvin Cotto, thank you for being here. Lydia Washington, Francia Mosley, Black Queen, Lola Love, I think I said Janice Goodrich, Carol Lund, Rodney Jackson, Lady T. I'm talking square biz to you, baby. Square, square biz. I'm talking love. That is square, square biz. Um, Lady T, Tina Marie. You know, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Lady T, Tina Marie, Rohini. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. Well, why don't I just go ahead and scroll through and then we'll get started. Lex wants to say hi to a few people though, so let's take care of that. Lavender, Brenda Gray, Emma D, Novi D, uh, Lady T. Okay, Vivian So. Okay, I'm scrolling through. My apologies if I missed you, but I'll catch you later. Okay, Joan Garcia. Okay, we're good. We're good, good, good. Right, and I'm going to get rid of my photo there. I mean my avatar. I got to change that photo. It's been so long. I've been sipping on that same cup of coffee, just like this one. All right. Okay. So anyway, you couldn't help but notice it. I mean, it was everywhere, wasn't it? The opening of Parliament, the first time that His Majesty King Charles II has opened Parliament as the sovereign. Um, yeah, so that was rich. Of course, he did do an opening for his mom when she wasn't well. She like pulled out at the last minute, and that was that time he sat there with her crown, the state crown or whatever crown it is, had that crown sitting on the side table. And then he sat there pretending like he was so overwhelmed with the thought of it, the very idea. Yeah, right. You can't be that overwhelmed seeing that you went over to Windsor Castle that time. And anyway, you happen to have been, and then the Queen was, and then of course they said it was a, and of course we all know where the came from. So if you've been watching long enough, I don't have to fill in those blanks. He went over there after he was, and then next thing you know, they were watching the Queen because they thought she was, and then of course they found out she was, and then they said there was a, and of course there was no mention that he had gone there and had lunch the couple days before that. So they blamed it on the staff as per usual, even though they were living in isolation to protect his mother. But I'm not going to start kicking that hornet's nest again. You know how I feel about it. But anyway, I don't even know how I got on it, but then you know that it doesn't take much of a preempt for me to start talking about that again. How disgusting and shameful of him. The only reason why I talk about it is because, they love to try to blame Harry. Harry did this, Meghan did that. So it's up to me to set the record straight. You dig? Sure enough. Okay. So there's Harry. I'm going to do the 30-minute one just in case there's anyone amongst us who missed it. I'm going to play that, not 30-minute, I'm sorry, 30-second. Well, actually, it's 27 seconds. Let me find that 27 seconds of Harry talking about, let me see. Huh. Don't you know I don't see it now? Oh, you know what? That's because I didn't actually hold on. Hold on. Well, anyway, I'll get to it in a minute. Hello, Rosa Roberts. Rosa Roberts wants to say hi to a couple people. So anyway, what a surprise that dropped. Harry is very good friends with Bob Woodruff, Bob Woodruff. And Bob Woodruff is a hero in his own right. As a journalist, he was embedded with the American forces, and he himself was gravely injured, and they weren't sure that he was going to survive, but he did. And after that, he became quite the authority on the affairs of injured and wounded sick soldiers himself. So, yeah, Bob Woodruff, very nice guy, and of course, a friend of the Duke of Sussex. So, when that is part of the equation, if he's a friend of Harry's, well, then he's a friend of mine. Okay, so let me try that one more time. Okay. Oh, it didn't send. It said it failed to send. Let me try one more time. How did that have happened? Let me try it again. It failed to send. Oh, I think I know what I did. No, it did send. Why would it say that? That's weird. Okay, so let me try it. We'll just do the it's 27-second video, and then we'll talk on the other side. Okay, cue it up.
Hello, New York. Obviously, I was deeply honoured when Bob asked me to debut my stand-up act with you all tonight. I was so relieved to be invited back, but then I started to question whether his invite for me to actually do stand-up was in fact his idea of a joke. Either way, due to the shockingly low representation of gingers last year, and out of respect for my fellow endangered species, here I am, reporting for duty.
Okay. Thank you, Your Royal Highness Prince Harry. Okay, let me get out of this and back over here. So, Harry, his speaking skills are on point. Oh my God, was he so good? He was so good. I mean, the inflection, the way he looked at the camera, the hand gestures, the posture, everything was on point. And of course, the fact that he is genuinely interested in the material, he's engaged, he's a part of it. I mean, it's about himself and the people that he has supported. It's not just he's, rattling off some words or something like that. He means what he says, and he says what he means. He's not new to it, he's true to it. And just about everything else that I could say. But oh my God, I'm just, how proud I am of this incredible world leader that Harry has become, and he is a world leader. Lex says, "Can't the royals learn lines? Are they that lazy?" That is another reason they hate Meghan. In the U.S., we learn lines. Now look at Harry. He learns his. Exactly. So, as evident by his skillful speech that he gave, even including a bit of banter and whimsy, I thought he was extraordinarily good. I mean, if whatever he wants to do, um, yeah, he's can do a lot of things. I'll just say he can do a lot of things. I'm too excited to put it into words, but he can do a lot of things. Thank you so much, Lex. Charlene Bates, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex and being a member of Royal Sussex. Oh, I almost forgot. I received some gifts. I went early to the mailbox, which is a little far away from me, but I went early, and I said I was going to go Wednesday, but I decided to go today. And oh my goodness, I got some earbuds. I got a phone case. I have some new blackout curtains so I could sleep all day. Uh, I have this really, really cool computer stand that is all telescopic and collapsible, but yet incredibly durable with its brushed aluminum finish. Looks just like my computer case. And gosh, I hope. Oh, the snow brush, which I desperately need, the snow brush. Lord only knows what happened to the old one, but I have a new snow brush. So in case I forgot something, but thank you all. I'm gonna send the private thank yous for that. But thank you so much. I got some fun stuff, and yeah, and I got a phone case that I could actually charge my phone, and it's got a little flip stand to it. I just about wore out the other case that one of the squatties sent me, so thank you so much for that. I didn't want to forget, so that's why I'm just blurting it out right now. But thank you all so much for the wonderful wish list birthday gifts. I better put some lip salve on because I'm about to split my lip. Let's see. Lex says the ever wise and brilliant Rohini says Prince Harry needs to make more babies to help the species. Yes, I think what Harry is referring to is that they say at some point redheads are going to become extinct. Evolution is going to rid the world of the redheads. Now, there is a recessive gene that has been perpetuating the redheads for a long time, but as you know, you could be any race and have red hair. I've never seen an Asian person with red hair, but um, I have probably a couple of redheads in my family with freckles. So yeah, there you go. You because and yeah, so there are some African Americans that I know that are redheads. And guess what everybody calls them? Right, red. But yes, thank you, Rohini, and of course, thank you, Legs, for forwarding that I missed, unfortunately. But thank you so much. Let me see. Okay. Oh, Rory B, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for being here tonight or this morning, whichever it is. Okay. Now, right here is this is from a troll account. This is from a troll account. I think I did this one maybe twice, but I want you to look at their perspective of things. William is in Singapore. Sophie is in Canada. The king and the queen have just attended the state opening of Parliament. Meanwhile, Harry is playing dress up at home. He was never a smart one, but at this point, it's impossible for him not to question his life choices. Karma. How clueless. How clueless. They really need to believe. They they really need to believe that Harry's life is one of doubt and second guessing and misery. They really need to believe that. They really need that confirmation. They reassure each other that Harry's life is in peril because he moved to Southern California, to Montecito, where there is a microclimate that is more agreeable than the south of France or just about any place that you could possibly think of in the United States, save for maybe Miami if you're for that sticky weather. But yeah, Montecito, is that Spanish for little mountains? Well, anyway, Montecito has a climate that is dictated by the ocean and the mountains that are just beyond the municipality, part of Santa Barbara County, one of the most desirable zip codes in the United States, one of the best places to live in the world. And for some odd reason, they woo! They seem to think that Harry, who didn't have to leave home, let me break this down for you. This person is saying Harry is not smart, although he nearly broke the internet today and didn't even have to leave the house. He didn't have to go to Singapore. He didn't have to be harassed by the Republic people on the way to Parliament today. He didn't have to go to Canada, where there's about 3 or 4 people that know that you're even there. None of that happened to him. He went out to his backyard. They set up a camera. He looked into the camera, looking amazing, by the way. And with that little effort, no more than whatever power it took to run the camera and whatever, camera person recorded it, with that small, meager gesture, he just about he owns the news cycle where the royal family is concerned, where any royal is concerned. Prince Harry, His Royal Highness Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, owns the news cycle, owns it. And there is absolutely nothing they could do about it. Although they tried to pull a Thomas Markle. Yes, they tried to introduce a Yeti. I'll share that with you later. They tried to pull a Thomas Markle thing again. But Harry was magnificent. And the one who's supposed to be not so bright didn't even have to leave his property to own the news cycle in all of the royal family, any of the royal families. Let's see. Bolus World says, yeah. And yet that troll made Harry's picture the biggest on her post. These people are not okay. Thank you for that. I almost overlooked that. Okay, thank you. I almost overlooked that. But yes, Harry's is the largest image. But yeah, there you go. So right here, another snub to the king. Harry did not wear coronation medal given to him by Charles as he delivered gag-filled video monologue for Stand Up for Heroes, where he wore 4 gongs, including one for Afghanistan service. So those medals are for the various jubilees, the Queen's jubilees that he lived through. the last three of them, of course, and then one for his service in Afghanistan that he is proudly wearing. And this one here, this, I don't know what else to call it, but it's a two face. I mean, if you look at it, there's two faces. It's enough face, just one of them. But in this medal, there's two of them. Let me show you what I mean. There's this face and there's this face. It's enough if you have just one of these faces, but to try to pin two of them to your chest, um, I say not. I say not. He made the right decision of omitting that particular medal and leave it to the tabloid media to point that out. Leg says, did anyone know the Unroyals were there? It is news to me. Even Harry's picture is bigger. They try to inform of others' goings on by denigrating Harry. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people that I only just figured out Sophie was in Canada about 2 hours ago. I haven't seen much of anything to do with William. And I'm actually someone who scours the internet every day, and there was very little coverage of William. And as for Charles, a lot of people were like, oh, wait, that was today? When they saw the crown, they saw the cape, they thought it was about 6 months ago. Was it 6 months ago? Anyway, they thought it was months ago, not actually, current. Let me see. That was Archie's birthday. That was May, 6th. So yeah, they thought it was months ago and not today. It was actually today. And the only reason why they know it was today is because of the hecklers and the people booing them on the streets. That's the only reason why anybody noticed. If it wasn't for that, there would have been little or no coverage by most news agencies of note. So thank you again, Legs, for the super chat. Rohini says they also disrespectful. What she mean, Harry playing dress up. He earned those medals fighting for a queen and country. Try better. Sorry. They better not try me. Exactly. He earned those medals, unlike those other people in the family, especially that one that's been tripping over his maxi coat. He earned those medals. But yeah, I wouldn't want to wear that two-face on my chest. Now take a look here. I mean, let's face it. Like I said, one of those startling images is enough, but to have two of them layered one on top of the other, how would you know where one ends and the other one begins? I mean, it's just so much face, tooth, hair, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, it looks like a biological hazard come alive. Why would you want that on your chest? Why would anybody really put that on the medal? I have no idea, but I guess they had no choice, considering that the two of them managed to scheme their way to the top. Charles, by law, should have been omitted from taking the throne, seeing that he was married in a registrar's office. And Camilla, well, she shouldn't be there either. I mean, Charles had to do a lot of work to legitimize his position to take that throne. But divorced, and the fact that he was married in a registrar's office instead of the Church of England, the church refused to marry him, which essentially made him, what was his name, Edward VIII? He's not even supposed to be there. To be honest with you, he's not supposed to be there. Just because he waited a long time doesn't mean anything. He took a different route that is not, shall we say, as constitutional as it appears, but they changed the rules to suit him. And I don't know, maybe his mother, realizing that once they divorced, the possibility that he would never be king, Maybe that was part of the idea. Maybe that was part of the idea. Now take a look here. Prince Harry's new side hustle, stand-up comedian. And over here on the right, Variety. Jon Stewart, Prince Harry, Bruce Springsteen, Rita Wilson, Bob Woodruff, and more celebs honor vets at New York's Comedy Festival Stand Up for Heroes. I mean, Harry was on top of it. Do you hear me? He had this amazing self deprecating comedic timing that won the day, and people won't stop talking about it. This is one of many moments that Harry has had, like the girl that was eating the popcorn that time and the way he just played right into it. Or how about the Stephen Colbert show? There has been several of what I like to call those moments where Harry just went along with the flow and won the day, owned the news cycle. And if you could think of some more of those moments, go ahead and put it in the chat. I'm kind of looking out the corner of my eye. But let me see. What's another one of those moments? Of course, when he was doing that interview and he ran for the helicopter, when he was over in Afghanistan, that's another one of those moments. I mean, he's had several of those, shall we say, moments. When he decided that he wanted to marry someone so far removed from that institution, ocean away, that was another one of those incredible moments. The Invictus Games, several of those moments. Or how about the Cintabale? I mean, there's been so many of these moments. Like when his mother opened up that AIDS ward and she took the stigma out of HIV/AIDS for a generation of people, right? She took the stigma away from it for a generation of people. There were people that were outcasts from their families that were reunited because of Princess Diana. And if anybody is a worthy recipient of Princess Diana's legacy, we all know that's Prince Harry, the people's prince. And yet, from the comfort of his home, from his backyard, no less, he goes out and makes a video and crushes it. And of course, he was well rehearsed because it meant something to him to make the proper impression for the sick, wounded warriors or veteran families. That was important to him. It's always important to him. Yes, Carmen, very much in the vein of Barack Obama, where it's just that natural ability to connect with people and that very natural wit, that comedic timing and sense of humor. Yeah, this is going to be another one of those moments where Harry rose to the occasion. When he wore that uniform, when everybody was trying to destroy him in that family, he can't wear his uniform. And what happens? He comes strutting out there in that uniform. I hadn't seen a walk like that since Yul Brynner in Westworld. I hadn't seen a walk like that since Wesley Snipes in Passenger 57. I hadn't seen a walk like that since George Jefferson moved to the Upper East Side to a deluxe apartment in the sky. I hadn't seen a walk like that since the opening of Shaft. I mean, he you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, this is one of those moments. And Harry, once again, with little or no effort, has completely outshined that institution and everyone in it. Full stop. And for your information, that is Bob Woodruff. Bob Woodruff, of course, the veteran news reporter Bob Woodruff, let me tell you a little bit about him, just in case he's new to any of you all. Bob Woodruff. Okay. So I'll just cover a little bit of this. Yes, the original Westworld. You know what I'm talking about. Yul Brynner. Yul Brynner. I mean, that movie may not have been the best thing in the world, but Yul Brynner, that's what most people remember is when he was wearing that cowboy suit and doing that walk. So, Robert Warren Woodruff, an American television journalist, since 1996, he was served as a reporter for ABC News. Woodruff anchored ABC World News Tonight, and in 2006, alongside news journalist Elizabeth Vargas, he was severely injured by an IED, an improvised explosive device, explosion during a reporting trip to Iraq that January and slowly recovered over an extended period before returning to air. He had some horrendous brain injuries, y'all. Um, so, yeah, and you know what? I'll just leave it there. I'll leave it there because he has a pretty long bio. So, but anyway, all of that is what led him to he and his wife to get into the veterans community, humanitarian stuff. So, yeah, remarkable story, remarkable story. And let me see. Sugar Plum K says, there were lots of moments to remember at the Invictus game. Yes, remember him passing the veteran daughter over the, oh, yes, over the barrier so he could embrace, so she could embrace her dad after she got this medal. Yes, 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 absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. He has had several of those. Black Queen says, I remember the day Bob got blown up. Yes, yes, Bob Woodruff. That injury that he had, if you've ever seen a photo of him after they pieced his skull back together, it unsettles your stomach. But the important thing is he's well now. They did that thing where they they stretched the skin so that they could anyway. But you can see some of the damage on his face. I'll just say it. Bob Woodruff was one of the more attractive men on television. I mean, it was all about those dark looks and those piercing blue eyes and chiseled features. And you would almost forget what a serious journalist he was because he looked like something straight off of Madison Avenue's, you know, um, auditioning for one of those catalogs or something. But yeah, and so he won a lot of fans just from his appearance, and also he was a very dedicated journalist and still is. So, but it became apparent because of his injury that he wouldn't be able to continue to host regularly the news because it's been a slow road, and I'm sure that there's some residual stuff, injuries or symptoms or whatever that he is still suffering from. But just goes to show you, with determination and some good doctors, he is doing incredibly well these days. So thank God for that. Let's see. Oh, by the way, thank you, Black Queen. Enid Kirtley says, Baron, you should look up a video when he was dancing in Jamaica and you will see Harry. Yes, I saw that. Of course, I saw that. That famous trip to Jamaica. Absolutely. That was the day that, oh, yeah, that was that moment that Harry saved Jamaica for the Commonwealth. His granny sent him down there. And remember the what is it? The prime minister, she was like um, literally growling about Jamaica leaving the Commonwealth. And next thing you know, Harry walks off that plane in that ill-fitting wrinkled suit, and he looked like the young version of Columbo in that wrinkled raincoat. Um, but it didn't even matter. Harry just stepped off that plane, a mountain of charisma, and she was like putty in his hands, hugging him and holding his hand and pulling him closer. I was embarrassed. I was actually embarrassed. I'm like, girl, I was embarrassed. I'm like, I don't know what the age difference is, but I'm slightly embarrassed, ma'am. I was embarrassed. Let's see. Diane Hawkins says Bob's son is now on the beat and he is fan too. Also, Harry's doing the wind up in Jamaica gives me the vapors just thinking about it. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I understand that. Oh man. But yeah, that just goes to show the loss that they have suffered. Baron, you still not played the video Harry dancing in Brazil. I don't think I ever played that one. I don't think I have that one. I don't think I've ever played that one. Uh Dancing in Brazil. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that one. I'm not even sure I know what that one looks like. Dancing in well, anyway, either way, I don't have it, but I'll see if I can find that one another time, of course. Marshall says Bob Woodruff was absolutely gorgeous when he was the lead news anchor for ABC. See what I mean? When he was injured, he almost died. David Muir was given the lead anchor desk. I love these real serious journalists. Yeah, it's very important. It is important that you look the part, but then after that, you really got to know your stuff if you're going to anchor that desk. You can't be like, just there based on your looks. So let me see. Carolyn Shaw, I got so many slides to cover, but the full speech, you can link to it in the community tab, or you can just go to one of the the video that says best version, Harry's complete speech, I think it says. It is there. So yeah, I don't want to play the entire thing because I got a lot to cover. Apropos of that, let me move on because I got plenty to do. But there you go. You can see Bob Woodruff at the Intrepid event from a couple years ago. That's Bob Woodruff. I forgot his wife's name. And I don't know who the gentleman is in the rear, but there's Harry and Meghan with that red dress. Of course, that night when she said, I'm always proud of my husband. But yeah, so yeah, let's see. Did a good job putting Woodruff back together. He is still a very nice looking man. Yes, very much so. Okay, and here we go. So right here, there's that troll again. I knew I moved it, but I wasn't sure where I moved it, and I didn't delete the other one. But Vanity Fair, um, Green Lemon, Madame Figaro, what else is that? Film News, Celibici, Jezebel, The Messenger, Harper's Bazaar, The Variety, of course, People Magazine, Hello. Harry is everywhere. I didn't put that together, but one of the squaddies did. But whatever you see right there, there are many, many more, maybe 2 or 3 times more. Excuse me, that was on the Twitter that I just did not have the time to put together. But yeah, so it has been a busy news cycle for the royal family, and the leader of the pack, of course, Prince Harry. Absolutely, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. Now, Prince Harry actually didn't turn down an invitation to King Charles' milestone birthday, despite reports. So that is also trending from yesterday. That is also trending. I promise you, there are many of those um, circulating, and it's embarrassing to the royal family. Embarrassing, and I think they're probably furious about uh, Harry using one of the representatives of Archwell to go to Messenger, which of course is not one of those tabloid news agencies, to refute, to or dispute, refute the idea that he received an invitation. They were going to use that as a means of attacking the Sussexes, but it was a big lie, and Harry just did not tolerate it. He did not want to let that one go. And this is why it's good to not jump into a fight every time something happens. If you want to maintain the high moral ground, you really have to dispute those things when it counts the most. And this was perfectly timed, where it somewhat disrupted the what do you call it, the big glowing moment that they were trying to have in Singapore at the Parliament or the Palace of Westminster, if you will, or of course Canada. You know what? A sloth crossing the road could outshine the Duchess of Edinburgh. I mean to tell you, if you were to strip paint off of a antique piece of furniture, that would outshine Sophie Wessex. If you peeled a potato on camera, if you peeled a potato, that would probably go viral on TikTok rather than anybody realizing that Sophie Wessex is in Canada, watching paint dry, explaining crop rotation, you name it, and it will outshine Sophie. Sophie is easily dismissed. Easily dismissed. Um, yeah, I can't think of too many things that would not outshine Sophie. Yeah, I couldn't think of anything. Can you all think? I couldn't think of anything. I think just about you get my point. The royals are truly pathetic. The world sees their smear campaign. They expect the politicians to help show them deference, but the UK is not in any position to make demands. Petty, jealous lot. Absolutely, Lex. Thank you for that. Uh, oh my goodness. Thank you, Cookies and Cream, for that. Uh, Glad I ate dinner already. Let's see. The rift in the royal family could not be wider. Royal experts slam Harry and Meghan's inappropriate timing after couple insisted they were snubbed by King Charles over his birthday party on same day he took center stage at state opening of Parliament. Huh? And also, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex claimed they had received no contact from Buckingham Palace about His Majesty's 75th birthday party just hours before Charles held the state opening of Parliament. So, bit of a repeat there. But if you did not want this to happen, then why would you leak something like that? And especially using Roy Anika, Roya Sneaky, why would you go to her of all people to leak something, knowing that given her long career and her devious reporting nature, that people would be apt to accept it as being true? Not to mention the fact, what does she write for the Telegraph? That if it comes from the Telegraph, it tends to carry more weight than if it came from another source. And so eventually, within no time, all of the rags were reporting the same thing, right? So whoever planted that story that Harry snubbed them and turned them down knew exactly what they were doing. They knew it would get the maximum amount of attention. But what they did not count on is that Harry would push back. They were not expecting Harry to push back. This was supposed to be like another one of those joint statements from Kensington Palace that Harry hadn't seen. Well, this was actually a reply that Harry did not give, and he decided to push back. Elaine Parker, top of the morning. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex and being a member. Greatly appreciated. Well, now my evening is that much more complete. I'm still missing a couple of people, but thank you for being here. That really, really moves the dial. Thank you so much. Let's see. Susie Q says, "Thank God Harry pushed back." Yeah, yeah, because they were going to use that to draw sympathy. I think maybe to draw sympathy to Charles, so people would watch that boring opening of Parliament or whatever. Who knows exactly? Maybe it was a twofer. And when I say a twofer, um, oh, let's see. Roy Anika looks like a major. What is that altar now? In line with Camilla Tominey. Yeah, yeah. She. Yeah. As a matter of fact, do I need to go to my Photoshop or whatever thing I'm using, Polar? I can't remember which one, but do I need to go and elongate Roy Anika's nose? I mean, I've done it for a few other people who have been found wanting in their character. I've even identified some of the traits of their obsession, but if I have to, I will. Um, yeah, just let me know. If I have to, I will. I will expose them all. Thank you so much, Rory B. And now let me get rid of this Easter Island head of a reporter. Yeah, Easter Island. Still Easter Island. All right. So Vinny Blair says if they hadn't leaked the lie, there would be nothing to refute. Plus, I heard it refuted at least a day before Parliament opening. Yes, absolutely. They're just embarrassed. They are absolutely embarrassed. And I do think that the whole idea was to uh, build up some sympathy for Charles going into the opening of Parliament and his birthday celebration, but too little, too late. Yes, Lorna Williams says Roy Anika just got, what is that? How many times is she going to let the royal family toast her like a marshmallow before she smartens up? Thank you for that very vivid description. Thank you very much. I like that. Just for the sake of it. So, Prince William, very fitting gesture as he mixes with A-listers at Earthshot. This man is so down on such a low rung of the ladder. He is so low on the totem pole um, that they really thought it a good idea to remind you they have to point out to you that William has put on his big boy pants and now he is mixing with real, true, bona fide, honest to goodness Hollywood celebrities. Look at William. He's getting along with Hollywood too. He has Hollywood friends. People are lining up to be with him. They can't get enough of William and his golden sparkling personality. Yeah, that guy right there. Who wouldn't want to be in the same space with him? He's so funny and clever and handsome and all of those things. And the comfort and ease of his movements and the self-assured nature that he has. None of that is true, of course. Um, but this is what we're supposed to think, is that he is the sexiest man alive, the sexiest royal that there's ever been. We're not supposed to look at him and see the Mitchum roll-on bottle. And that's because he's not wearing a turtleneck this time. I guess somebody's been watching Royal Sussex. Black Queen says, Baron, their hate smear campaign is a dud. This is their norm. We don't care. Hear, hear. We don't care. Objection asked and answered. Now take a look at the bottom of that photo on the right to show you how the British tabloid media tries to gaslight people. At the bottom it says, the couple gave each other a loving look on the green carpet as they headed to the inaugural awards. That is a loving look. His eyes are cast down to the green carpet with a smirk on his face. She equally has a bit of a smirk, although it's hard to tell because her jaw doesn't really line up sometimes from all that smiling. But she has a bit of a smirk on her face and a defiant gaze as she looks upon his, cranium mass. And they could not seem further apart, but we are to believe that they are exchanging a loving gaze. I did not add that, as you can see from the graphics at the bottom. That was actually in the papers. And actually, I think it was Daily Mail. The Daily Mail ran that caption with the photo. I did nothing to it. Nothing. This is the photo. That is the caption. We are supposed to have been gaslit by the effort. So, again, they are trying to gaslight people into believing that this couple is so in love that they're just like Harry and Meghan. Oh, they love each other just as much as Harry and Meghan. They can't keep their hands to themselves when nobody's looking. Who knows what might jump off? Who knows what may happen if nobody's looking? Oh, those two right there. Get a room, you two. Get a room. How did you stop at 3 children? Yeah, that's what we're seeing right here, according to them. So that's the photo from the first Earth flop. And then, of course, they went to Boston. Now, number 3, they're in Singapore. William decided to go with the bow tie this time. And I'm not even going to bore you with these celebrities that he is supposed to be so engaged with. But when I tell you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. I promise you it's nothing. Again, I don't know why I'm not doing a product placement for Mitchum Roll-On deodorant, but I'll have to look into that because I think I have referenced Mitchum Roll-On deodorant about as often as I've said Will and Kate. So it is time for Royal Sussex to get some of those product placements. Yeah. Now, this is the fun part. This is the fun part. Let me go ahead, do a bit of a reset because we have got to dig into this, you all. An hour and 12 minutes. I can't believe I'm just now getting to this, but get to it we shall. Or Or let me do this first. Yes, let me do this first, and then we will jump into that.
Harry should be king. He should be king. Prince Harry, not William. William and all of them in there, Camilla is the wicked witch of the devil himself, because she is part of why Princess Diana is not here. I do not like them. I am from the islands, and we don't need them in the Caribbean. Get lost. Demolish the monarchy. This is 2023, okay? And I will support Harry 100%. I do feel for him. Yes, I do. And everything in the book is the truth. And Charles is the monster, not Harry. Harry's no monster, not Meghan. He's bringing the story out right now. They are evil people. They are not nice. Behind the wall, we all are one human being, and behind that wall there are no difference with me and you and any other Brits. Give the people back the money. They are just welfare recipients, living off the taxpayers of the British people. And the British people are stupid, supporting that nonsense monarchy. It is nothing. It's just a title. It means nothing, a title. I'm angry at them.
Okay, so not my king. Not my king. What could possibly go wrong? When I tell you that they raised the roof, I mean just that. They raised the roof, and it was nothing nice. I was looking for some coverage, and I didn't see anything at first. So I said, let me go to the Republic Twitter. Surely they have something there. Well, yeah, they do. And amongst that with other places. But yeah, they had something there. Let me see here. I know I have it uploaded already, but let me just double check this. Okay, yeah, that's going the wrong direction. I want to get one where they're headed to the Westminster Abbey and not away from the Westminster Abbey. Okay, yes, this is it. So everything went smooth inside of the Parliament, of course. Okay, not so smooth. Wait. Wait a second. I'm speaking out of turn when I say that. Oh, let me see. Give me just a second, you guys. I just want to make sure that I give you the proper version of this. Because, oh yes, that's it. That's it. Okay, I'm going to share the video from the event today. Give the people back their money. I'm stalling. I just realized I could do better than what I just did. So oh, by the way, if you just joined us, please hit the like button. Okay. There we go. It is headed in the right direction now. Whew. All right. Okay. Oh, let me see. Thank you, Baron, for the Auntie Anne shout out. If you ain't Afro Annie with the Newports. Oh, okay. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad you enjoy it. That's one of my favorite fun things. All right, so ever since this day, the Not My King people have shown, they're called Republic. They have shown that they're here to stay, that they are a force to be reckoned with. Now, this is taking the struggle to their territory. And when I say they took the fight to to the monarchy, this is Buckingham Palace, and they posed as tourists, and they went inside and removed the top layer or opened the top layer of their clothing to expose black t-shirts. And they all stood in sequence according to the plan, not my king. Now, if you're a bit bashful, you probably realize that one of the individuals in the group seem to be more excited about it, or maybe they're just blessed. Maybe they're just blessed. But there seems to be a shadow that was cast upon the event that seems to come from out of nowhere. I don't know. If you know, you know. But I'm just like, wow. For being such a small individual. Anyway, so not my king. N is for nothing. There's nothing to see. O is for obvious, where obvious as can be. T is for Camilla Tominey, who lies like a rug. That don't rhyme. And M is for, okay, we'll skip M. Y. We better skip M. I don't know what song comes to mind with M. Okay, so anyway, they were very bold in making their way and making the statement that they made. And unlike the oil people, they didn't break anything. I tell you what, just look at the clock. If you're having trouble, look at the clock. That's what I'm doing. I'm just looking at the clock. Lydia, look at the clock. I said the clock. I know the clock has hands on it, but look at the clock. They're not looking at the clock, are they? Well, they're thinking about the clock. I mean, you got to do something under those circumstances. Otherwise, you could lose an eye. Anyway, as I was saying, never mind. Let me just move on. All things come to those who wait. Remember that. All things come to those who wait. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you show up in force, about 500 people with signs, eventually something's got to give, right? And something did give. As a matter of fact, oh Lord, let me see. Okay, that's what I need to do. Here goes. Yes, there was a wall of yellow placards with the black lettering, "Not My King." Now, why this is important is because on Coronation Day, they literally violated the rights of Republic and confiscated their signs. Republic registered their protests. Republic squared everything away with the authorities before the coronation. And yet they had this 11th hour change of law. And then eventually they, that morning before the coronation, Graham Smith, the leader of the group, was jailed along with a few other people in the group. No charges have been filed. There is no court date or anything. They were released around, I would say, about 11 p.m. You know, GMT time, and they were sent on their way without any further explanation. But the understanding is they did not want, at least this is what I understand, they did not want that signage, those placards, seen around the world on the odd chance that somebody actually gives a damn and decided to watch the coronation. In the end, it was not very effective. They arrested people, but there were still some of the placards that got through. There were people who were wearing yellow for that reason, and there was a film and photos of Charles and Camilla looking straight into the faces of those individuals that had agreed upon a designated area of protest. So I don't know if they went through the trouble of informing the police this time, but they definitely were better prepared. Let's see, Lorna Williams. This is King Chucky's "Let Them Eat My Carriage" moment. Oh, I like that. Just like "Let Them Eat Cake" from the certain French royal that didn't end well. Yes, absolutely. Marie Antoinette, the famous "Let Them Eat Cake." And of course, like anything else to do with history, now we are being gaslit by this idea. Oh, she didn't say it. Oh, she most certainly did. She certainly did. And if she didn't, it was implied by her lavish lifestyle while so many were going hungry. But yeah, so I'll speak about that one of these days, the French royals and that whole ordeal. But yeah, thank you so much, Lorna Williams, for the super chat. So yeah, that happened today. "Not My King" signs are abundant outside Palace of Westminster. Something that is so opposite. And they have I think they have like 10,000 members now, whereas before, well, anyway, according to Graham Smith, their numbers have doubled, not because more people want to be as vocal as they are, but because there were people who did not appreciate, who want to push back against the establishment for arresting and suppressing freedom of speech before the coronation. That did not go down well with a lot of people. So they gained members, um, you know, big time because of that. So, and here's another vantage point. You can see that same, I guess, intersection, and look at the size of those signs. I mean, kind of hard to miss, isn't it? Look at the size of that signage. I don't know if there are just regular people mixed in with them, but they meant business this time. They were not going to be silenced. And there you go. This is the money shot. This is the money shot. How nicely framed is that image where you have the signage completely surrounding the Jubilee carriage as well as that one sign in direct line of sight through the carriage. And they are not looking over on this side of the street. They are looking straight at them. As a matter of fact, they decided, why don't we wave? They actually waved to them. They're waving. They're not smiling. I don't think I see a smile, but they are waving. Right? Right, Teresa McDougal? Now that is a Pulitzer Prize winning image if I've ever seen one. The contrast, the motion, the everything, the gold and excuse me, the stone facade, all of that. Perfect. Let me see. I also saw pictures where, really? Oh, okay. I did not see that. I think if it was true, I would have seen it by now. But I don't suppose that happened because you know what? Throwing something on an occasion like this, I would totally disagree with that. That could definitely lead to someone getting severely hurt. So I'm not on board with the throwing stuff, but using your voices, fine. But throwing projectiles, not a good idea. I don't even care if it's a dog biscuit, not a good idea. So yeah, that is the money shot. And look at this. This is a high definition image of them. I zoomed in as close as I could, keeping the signage and their rather dazed and confused reaction all at the same time. I wonder if they were warned about this. I wonder if anybody said to them, Your Majesties, yeah, about the Republic group. Yeah, but this also is an indication that there were not many civilians. I have yet to see any photos where there were people lined on the street for this procession. If there are photos, I would be curious to know because I didn't see any. I did not see anything that looked like a wave of humanity gathering to celebrate the first king to open parliament in over 70 years. Nothing. And then inside, there's this rather curious doofus look on the queen consort's face. I don't know what she's looking at. I don't know if she's still thinking about all the signage. You know, I don't know how you all felt about Queen Elizabeth II, but I hate this image of Camilla wearing that crown. I really hate it. I despise the image of Camilla, the queen consort, the queen cohort, wearing Queen Elizabeth's stolen diamonds. I don't like it. I don't like it. Those diamonds dripping with the blood and the sweat and the tears of empire should not exist, let alone the idea that they are going to be used in this way. Really, for both of them. I'm not going to single her out. Both of them are just two really warped individuals who pushed and connived and schemed their way into this position of authority. And if you ask me, when somebody goes through all that, they deserve what they get. They deserve what they get. The very restless soul of Diana Frances Spencer, they deserve what they get. I will never not consider what these two put Princess Diana through. I will never not think about that, ever. And I don't blame Harry for not letting go of it. I don't blame him one bit. He lost a lot because of these two. A lot. The misery and unhappiness that his mother went through because of this that is supposed to be the affair of the century, this inevitable love story as they tried to paint it on Coronation Day. All the lies, all of the gaslighting that led up to the coronation, they did everything they could to try to sell this idea that fate brought them together and this is what is good for everyone in the kingdom. Is it really? Is this what's good for everyone? Is this the lesson to be learned? Is this what will teach the children? Is that it doesn't matter who you hurt or how you hurt them. It doesn't matter what circumstances you have pushed them into, so long as you get to wear Queen Elizabeth's tiara or the state crown, then that's all that matters. That's all that matters is that you win in the end. It doesn't matter that someone throws their own son under the bus, right? It doesn't matter that you make a deal with the tabloid media and then, of course, discourage your son for, seeking any type of legal repercussions, right? You get what you get out of it, but you don't want him to benefit from it or to improve the quality of his life from any such settlements. Harry was supposed to take it on the chin for at least four of these people: Camilla, Charles, that social climbing Kate Middleton, and William. He and whoever he married were supposed to tough it out to deal with all of the disrespect and the lies. And had they not left that institution, had they pursued a half in, half out, they would be in no position to take them to task for their wrongdoing. He'd be in no position. He would have no moral authority to go against that institution if he was still working inside of it. It's okay to speak your mind. It's okay to challenge a situation like that, but it's better done from the outside. If you want to be stealth about it, if you want to, do incremental change, then you stay inside the institution. But if you want to change things dramatically, then there's no better place than on the outside looking in. And then that way they can't use your position against you. They can't hold your house over your head. You give them a check for $3 million and that ends that story. At least so we thought. Yeah, I saw bits and pieces of it, and Charles looked absolutely ridiculous. It was difficult for him. There are parts that they actually took out of it because it would have made it that much worse. But yeah, this was not a good day for Charles. It was good in that they got through it, right? They survived it. Everything went like clockwork. The only thing that they were not expecting, of course, or at least they were hoping wouldn't be as bad, but it turned out it was pretty awful. Yeah, that was tough. That was tough, but well deserved. So, I think one of the reasons why Camilla had that strange look on her face is because she's probably trying to figure out where can she find the red of the strawberry lip gloss. As a matter of fact, maybe that is her strawberry lip gloss, and maybe she's just confused because she thought she had it in her purse, and somehow uh, somehow Charles managed to get that red lip gloss. Maybe he likes the taste of it. I don't know. Maybe he's kind of weird. You know how some people eat chalk and stuff like that. Maybe he likes the to have that taste of strawberry lip gloss on his lips. I don't know, but I tell you what, he's waited a long time before he got into, you know, playing with his what do you call that? His androgynous side. Yeah, he's waited a long he's waited a long time to embrace androgyny. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. If he is experimenting with that, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. As a matter of fact, if there's something he wants to tell us, fine. I will support him 100% if there's something that if there's something that he wants to share with us, I am here for it. I encourage it. I am, you know what I'm saying? If there's something, and I'm not saying there is, I'm just having fun, but if there is something in there that is fighting desperately to get out, I will definitely throw my support because we're all God's children. And even though we drove our first wife to a tunnel in Paris that where she died mysteriously without a reasonable explanation, if there is something that you want to share with us, just come on out with it. Come on out. Come out with it. Come out. But yeah, sometimes it starts with strawberry lip gloss, and then it graduates into a former Olympiad that's married to a reality star wife. That's what I'm trying to say. If you know, you know. Uh, now, one of the things that I was surprised, even though there was all this planning for the event, it seems like uh, King Charles III's arch nemesis somehow managed to make his way into the opening of Parliament. Somehow, his arch nemesis managed to make it in there. Now, I suppose on his way there, he couldn't find those projectiles that he was looking for. But if he got this close today, then chances are he'll get that close again. And what can I say? They better be prepared with a good stain remover because produce is gonna fly. No, poultry. Yeah, poultry is gonna fly. You know I couldn't resist, right? You know I could not resist. I had to sneak an Easter egg in there somehow, didn't I? Yeah. But maybe it was him, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's maybe the lighting or something, but I promise you, Egg Boy made it to the opening of Parliament. And anyway, so there you go. I mean, you all do see him, right? After I went through all that trouble, you better see him. Anyway, let me continue. So it was a spectacle. It was a spectacle complete with the page boys and the dignitaries, the blue carpeting and the grandstands and all the ancient tapestries and scenes of war and what have you. Ladies in waiting. And then eventually, just as soon as it started, it was over. No, I didn't see what's his name? Rock Savage. I did not see David Rock Savage, the one that has the name to sound like a porn star. I did not see him. So I think maybe he was given something else to do, because I believe that those positions alternate from one aristocratic family to the other, at least some of those positions. But I'm not sure. I don't even know what his position was called. But now here is a glimpse of 500 years ago. In the year 1523, that was the first time there was a known recorded image of the opening of Parliament. And there you can see the sovereign, you can see the ministers and the 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 peers and all that kind of stuff. That was the first known recorded image of the opening of Parliament. And you might notice too that the sovereign almost looks like a giant in comparison to all the other people in the illustration. And then, of course, you can fast forward to 2023, some 500 years later, and there's basically the same setup. They're on those benches, the peers, the commoners, I guess, the House of Commons and what have you. They're all there. Oh, his term was up. The holder of the Black Rod. But he wasn't Black Rod. There was someone else that was Black Rod. I've seen that lady do Black Rod before. Rock Savage was not Black Rod. At least I don't think so. But I've seen her before. I forgot what his thing was, but he was not the Black Rod. Why does all these names sound like a porn star? Huh? David Rock Savage, Black Rod. And don't even get me to the groomer of the stool. I don't even want to think about that one. But why does all these people sound like OnlyFans? So weird. It's like bad 70 porn names. Let's see. That photo on the left looks a little weird, but I layered a clear photo on top of a blurry photo. But I just wanted to make sure that the altar or whatever, the throne, was clear in comparison to the rest of the room, because those people don't really matter. But yeah. Oh, a distant cousin of Lord Chamberlain. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, you guys, that's a little illustration of the way things were some time ago. And then there's a broad view. It's not a very large room, as you can tell. I think you can fit all of those people on a 747 or A380 and probably still have a few empty seats. But yeah, so that's a broad image of it. King Charles announces that the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak government will continue to take action to ease the cost of living for families. Government really got this guy to sit there and talk about easing cost of living prices while wearing a hat worth more than Kent. That is, of course, the Duchy of Kent. But yeah, so let me play the sound bite for you, because you really got to hear it to believe it. Let me play the sound bite. It's one of those things where you say,
government's priority is to make the difficult but necessary long-term decisions to change this country for the better. My minister's focus is on increasing economic growth and safeguarding the health and security of the British people for generations to come. My government will continue to take action to bring down inflation, to ease the cost of living for families, and help businesses fund new jobs and investment. My ministers will support the Bank of England to return inflation to target by taking responsible decisions on spending and borrowing. My government's priority is to make the difficult but necessary long-term decisions.
well, I mean, that's the only reaction that I could think of with that one is you got to laugh to keep from crying. I mean, it took nerves. It took nerves for him to sit there and say it, but he did. He did. Now, what is that you say your government is going to do? Okay, that's what I thought. Well, there you go. The government is going to ease the burden of inflation and the cost of living. That's what they're going to do. They're going to ease the burden. In the meantime, Charles and his family will use that selection of some 23 properties that they have at their disposal. 23 properties. You have Balmoral, you have Burke Hall, Fort Belvedere, Royal Lodge, Windsor Castle, Marlborough House, Lancaster House, Clarence House, Westminster Hall, London, Kensington Palace, Buckingham Palace, St. James Palace, the Tower of London, Sandringham, Holyrood, what is that one? Glencastle, whatever. And don't they have some place in Ireland, or did I name that one already? There's Frogmore House. Let me see here. What is that? Catacomb Park or something like that? Admiral Hall, Highgrove. Let me see. I can't hardly see those. Well, we know Dumfries House. Let us not forget Dumfries House. Windsor Castle, all that. They got all those places to retreat to. And if that's not enough, while they're trying to help with the cost of living and all that, if that's not enough, what about this? These are people, let's see, what does it say at the bottom? All 18 of these royals live in state-owned homes, mainly in St. James Palace, Kensington Palace, or Windsor. They pay little or no rent at a huge cost to taxpayers. Most of them do very little in return. They also have second, third, and fourth homes. Second, third, and fourth homes. And what I just showed you is only a portion of their real estate portfolio, just a portion of it. Because don't forget, on the properties, they have various properties on those estates, houses on the estate with tenants that they could move out of there at a heartbeat, the same way they got rid of the tenants at Anmer Hall so that William and Kate would have a country retreat. They had that big palace in Kensington, and they have the big palace apartment in Kensington Palace. They have Anmer Hall, Adelaide Cottage, and they have something that's part of the Balmoral. Now, some of these are Crown Estate properties, and some of them are actually owned outright by the Windsors, like the Sandringham House and the Balmoral. Those are their own personal properties. That belongs to the sovereign. But whatever the case may be, they have a selection of houses to rotate to. They can spend an entire month going from one place to the next and never sleep in the same household twice. That's what they have while they're preoccupied with the cost of living. Combined, Chucky and Willie have a fortune that we know of, that is worth 2-point-something billion pounds. Over £1 billion each in their duchies, right? And they're not paying any, and I mean they ain't paying any income tax or inheritance tax either. They're not paying that either. Baron, please play the lady saying, "I don't get it." Oh, yes. I don't share her enough. Where is she?
I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals?
I love the
like
Queen.
Kim Kardashian. Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, yeah, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrity.
For me, is brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No,
for duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard,
But
hasn't
I
she?
would work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
They don't pay for all of the houses. But
Just a few.
Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. Well, I would work hard too if the whole country paid me to live in like 12 houses. Yeah, I'd work hard too. Let me see if I can name any of these people. Let me see. Sophie, Lizzie, Princess Michael, Prince Michael, Beatrice or Eugenie, Edward, the Duke of Kent, the Duke of Gloucester, the Duchess of Gloucester. I don't know who that Mrs. Doubtfire is with that red coat on. Pat, I guess her name is Pat. She's ambiguously androgynous. I'm just going to call her Pat. And then there's Charles, Camilla, Beatrice or Eugenie. You know, I can't tell them apart. Afro Annie, Andrew, the sick old man, Princess Alexandra, Willie Leakes, and Kate Middlebaum. So yeah, those are the people that are living in those houses, the adults, that is. And we're not even going to count the that's it. Can't count those other ones. Because I think Zara the Tongue Ring Tyndall, I think she lives on Princess Anne's estate, which, you know, that's why I said they have additional housing, and I do mean plenty of it, on those various properties. That's why it's so difficult to count what is and is not, because you have to know. Like, for instance, Prince Philip was living at Wood Farm. Well, Wood Farm is part of the Great Windsor Park of the Windsor Estate. And until Philip moved there, had anybody ever heard of the Wood Farm? I haven't. That was new to me. Yeah, all of these, that is, so discussing all those properties, and the British people are paying for all these homes, palaces. Yeah. Now, in the spirit of full disclosure, let me see if that's next. Oh, thanks to you tax paying plebs, us royals won't be going hungry or cold this winter. That's right, because there's two Britons. There are two Britons. There's those who have it and those that don't. And the haves and have-mores are the aristos. The aristos. I mean, of course, there are those merchant princes and people that have made their money from the financial markets and investments and such. And then the, foreign nationals that bring their wealth with them. But by and large, the tax-paying British public, they don't have access to a lot of the things that are afforded to the aristos by virtue of their birth. Now, Green King forced to announce shedding of eco policy. So this is one of the things that was in the speech that probably caused a bit of controversy, is that the government's position on global warming is at odds with that of Charles III and William the Ridiculous. However, given the lifestyle of Charles III and William, you wouldn't know that they had a problem with global warming at all, because in that family, nobody burns more fossil fuels than the king and the heir to the throne. Nobody can burn as much fossil fuels as them. And by the way, did you all know that this very large commercial aircraft is actually a government aircraft? It is a A330. It is large enough to travel the globe without refueling. That is a transport for the prime minister and for the royal family. Air transport of the British royal family and government. The government officials use that plane. And I'm not knocking them for having access to it, but I just want you to know that because they retired the Britannia doesn't mean that they're not still flying high. As a matter of fact, I believe that this is the largest plane that the royal family has ever had exclusive access to. They had some smaller jets that they flew, and then they would always fly commercial and just take up the entire first class. The Queen has done that on occasion, or they'll charter a plane. But this is the first purpose-built plane of this size and this cost, even adjusting for inflation, that the royal family, and let's face it, this plane is not for the prime minister, it's for the royal family. Rishi Sunak won't use this plane enough that you can say that it's the Air Force One for the prime minister. This aircraft is for diplomacy. And when I say diplomacy, I am speaking of the royal family. They are the ones that are going to use that plane the most. And that is how Charles went to the Kenya. Now, when William went to the Earth flop, he didn't have access to the plane because he wasn't welcome to use it. Only Charles is going to use it. William may possibly have access to it at some point, but for now, I'm going to say not likely. But we'll see. We'll see. Because if William goes like on a royal tour, I'm guessing that the nation that he visits will probably pay the price of the chartered jet. And I'm not sure how that works, so I'm not going to comment on it any further. But that is the personal aircraft of the royal family. They do have a smaller jet, that one with the 4 engines. I don't know what it's called, but that's the one that they used when they went to oh God, I hate to say it, but when they went to go and bring Princess Diana back from Paris. It's a little 4-engine like private jet thing, although it's, a government jet, but I forgot what that one's called. But it's not a very big aircraft. This is about as spacious as Air Force One. This plane is okay. You know what? Not Air Force One. I'll take it back. This is like the plane that the vice president used. It's about that size, like a 757. But it's the A330. So yeah, this is what Charles will travel in. He's not going to fly commercial. And then, of course, this is the fleet of helicopters. You got the GXXEA that was used by the Queen, the GXXEB that was used by Charles, and then you got the GXXEC. That is the one that William shook down Granny. That's the 8 million pound aircraft that he demanded from Granny. But yeah, those are massive aircrafts, except the Willie leaks, the blue one, that is not as big as those other two. However, William don't use that anymore. He rarely uses that one. Now he's moved over to one of the big birds, and he's no longer using that smaller one. So, at least not as often. But those are the 3 that I can hunt down. There may be a 4th one, I'm not sure, but I know that there's A, B, and C for the last letters of the flight numbers, or the flight number or record, whatever. But yeah, so they have 3 of those. So if you thought that they just had that one helicopter that they share, they do not. They have these 3 and possibly some additional aircraft. Now, Harry and Meghan's Sussex Royal Charity did not break law, report fines. Now, I wanted to share this because I have been, you know, pushing Republic and pushing Republic and talking about Republic for the longest. But you should know there was a time when Republic had actually gone after Harry and Meghan. They had questioned their finances when it came to their charity. And of course, there was no there, but the fact that, these 2 non-working royals were, or should I say, not within the family, stepped down from official royal duty. Well, that's what the family classifies them as non-working, but whatever the case, these 2, they were challenged by Republic, and of course, there was no there. So, just so you know, there's no halo over Graham Smith's head, as far as I'm concerned. A probe was launched last year after the anti-monarchy group Republic claimed that the transfer of funds from Kate and William's charity was improper and likely to be unlawful. The Sussex Royal Charitable Body, which later became known as MWX before being wound up received a £145,000 startup grant from the Cambridge Royal Foundation. A future sum of £151,855 was transferred from the Royal Foundation to MWX to deliver Harry's Travelist Sustainable Travel Program, and was later transferred by MWX to the Travelist organization. A statement on the website said, hold on. Okay, there we go. On 20 July 2020, we falsely claimed that the transfer of funds from the Royal Foundation to the Sussex Royal and to the Travelist was improper and likely to be unlawful. We also wrote to the Charity Commission expressing the same point, and then widely publicized our letter to the UK media without knowing whether what we claimed was true. Our intention was to draw attention to the allegations. We did not contact the Royal Foundation and/or Sussex Royal before going to the Charity Commission and to the media, which would have been the appropriate action. If we had contacted the organization directly, we would have realized quickly that there was nothing improper in their operation. We apologize unreservedly to the charities and personally to the Duke of Sussex for our actions and the public damage that may have been caused as a result of widely publicized untrue claims. Harry and Meghan's spokesperson criticized the baselessness of the claim and said the outcome of the review underlines the legitimacy of the former charity. He said, "We are pleased that the Charity Commission has confirmed what we knew from the start, that MWX Foundation, formerly Royal Sussex Royal," look at that little plug I put in, Sussex Royal, complied fully with the UK charity law and is handling and transferring of funds and grants. So there you go. They messed up. And it goes on, but I'm done with it. But yeah, so they messed up. They messed up. Yeah, right, Rory B. The damage was done. With all of the people piling on, attacking the Sussexes for things that are untrue, then you have an organization like Republic that does the same thing. And even if it wasn't deliberate, even if it was by mistake, it is a teachable moment. But like you say, the damage is done. The damage is done. And of course, at that period of time, when the Sussexes were trying to build a home for themselves away from that rotten institution, the timing could not have been worse. You got all of that wealth circulating throughout that family. Why in the world would you target the Sussexes with that charity? Why? So, like I said, full disclosure, that is a reason why the Sussex Squad, that's why this community has been such a force of good for the Sussexes and just about anything else in that orbit, is because we do put some pressure on people. And it wasn't just the Sussexes themselves. It wasn't just Sussex Royal. There were quite a few squaddies that piled on quickly. And they went to Republic and said, "What are you doing? Why are you going after them? And they're not the ones working inside that institution. They're away from that. Not to mention, it was wrong and improper." So, you know what I'm saying? There are some very powerful people in the Sussex squad that are not going to sit back and just take it. I think one of the things that Camilla may have been kind of, you know, shaken by was she remembered the last time that they were uh, inundated with all those signs and everything. There were some people that were particularly unkind to her directly. And so she was probably just, happy that she didn't see any of those types of signage while they were out today. So, see how she's sitting all up in her seat and everything? That's because she's anxious. She doesn't want a repeat of this. So, uh, I went there. I went there. Anti-monarchists chant, "What a waste of money," as King opens Parliament. Boos rang out from dozens of members of campaign group Republic as the king arrived in Whitehall in a carriage procession from Buckingham Palace. And over there on the right, you can see King's speech. Charles booed as he enters Westminster. And then there's some more. Oh, this is a big collage that one of the squaddies made. Good night, Elaine Parker. Thank you so much for joining us. Good God, I've been on here for 2 hours and 14 minutes. Oh, I got to wrap this up. King Charles III forced to announce shredding of eco agenda despite his environmental past, which I think is a bit overblown. All Charles said was something about the waste and all that kind of stuff. He did not really go deep into the environment, but he has been kind of riding those few words that he said in a speech years ago when he supposedly was ahead of everybody else. Charles arrives to fanfare at Parliament. The carriage with the King and Queen has arrived at Westminster, blah, 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 making its way from Buckingham Palace, yada, yada, yada. Who cares? And that is some wagons. Instead of having all those signs on the back of a truck, they decided to go small and put those signs in those little wagons, those collapsible wagons, so that they couldn't have all their signs confiscated as it was on Coronation Day. Pretty smart. I mean, it's so portable and everything. You could literally disappear into any city street with them. I mean, the coppers would have to hunt them down. Let's see. News alert. State opening of Parliament. Yeah, so it was on Sky News, BBC. Everybody talked about it. King's speech abandoned Scots. Threadbare Tory plan with with no new powers for Holyrood to help with cost of living show why we need independence, says the National, which is the Scottish newspaper from north of Hadrian's Wall. And there are some people walking to Westminster, and they had to encounter those same signs all up in their faces. Now, what do you think? Do you prefer the Canadian statue on the left or that very lovely statue of Diana with those anonymous children? Something that she has long supported in her life was the young minds that just needed someone to cuddle and to love them and hear their stories. Well, the Queen statue doesn't look much like her. I think it looks more like Queen Alexandra than it looks like Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, I'm going to say that one looks more like Queen Alexandra, her grandmother. Yeah, it looks more like the Dowager Queen Alexandra. Oh, you know what, Lorna? That makes a lot of sense. They just wanted the attention that the Sussexes could afford them. Yeah, that's genius. Actually, I agree with you. Richard Eden, uh, Washpish interior designer to the stars, and Queen Camilla's pal, Nikki Haslam, 84, Blast, Prince William, and Kate, uh, so dull fashion choice of endless blue for them and their children. Well, this guy who kind of, oh gosh, I'm trying to think, who does he look like? I don't think I included his photo. But anyway, he's a friend of Camilla's, and he decided to go after the Cambridges for that rather dull palette that they usually occupy anytime they go into the public. And it's lackluster, boring, very sedate, but it's the Cambridges. What else would they have? Or the Prince and Princess of Wales. Boring. Not my king camp should remember we live in a stable country because of the monarchy. Yorkshire Post letter. Well, the Yorkshire Post, they published this back on the 11th of May, 2023, days after they arrested Graham Smith and the others and confiscated their signs for the coronation. What a fantastic spectacle we had over Coronation weekend. We have long been a royalist, believing that we are fortunate to live in a stable country with its many privileges and freedom, with a hereditary monarch as head of state, governing constitutionally with an elected parliament. We have been exceptionally fortunate in our late monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, of blessed memory. I firmly believe King Charles III will follow her example and prove to be a fine king. Well, if he's not, are there anything that you can is there something you can do about it? I don't think so. You're just stuck with him until he takes his last breath. And then, and then you move on to the next one. So I just kind of randomly came across this and I thought, boy, that's interesting. This was the reaction to the Republic movement back in May. And one needs to only look across the English Channel at the, I guess, the most visited tourism country in the world, France. I think France gets more tourists than anybody else, far more than the UK. And they don't have a monarchy. And as for their government, seems to be stable to me, and they don't have a monarchy. So again, where's your evidence? And I believe that the is the let me see, no, it's United States, China, Germany, India, and what's the next biggest economy? Is it the United Kingdom or Japan? Anyway, I don't even think the United Kingdom is in the top 5 anymore, are they? I don't think so. So yeah, you don't have that to look at either. So then what's left? Huh. Well, I guess so far there's no logical reason why you should have a sovereign for head of state. I mean, it's nice if they retreat to a purely ceremonial role, but that they demand 350 million pounds a year, well, that's outrageous. I don't think the US president costs that much. Letitia James claims rambling Trump insults on the stand were a distraction. New York Attorney General fires back at ex-president, branding her a hack, and insists Evidence shows he inflated assets to enrich himself. Full stop. And notice that that's one of the rare occasions when she's smiling. I love her. I love her. I'm gonna send her some of those Danish butter cookies for Christmas. I just love her. Well, that didn't last long. Uh, Sophie had stepped up her fashion game, but now she's back to the same old sloppy mess she was a year ago. Um, Another horrendous dress. She's wearing her bosoms tied into her waistband. I mean, ugh, it couldn't last, could it? She has gone back to dowdy and boring again. And as for the weight loss, well, I'm hoping that that speckled dress is an old photo. But I saw that online today, and I kind of think that's a new photo. But yeah, she has gone back to being a big sloppy mess again. Ugh. Just like she was back in the day with those horrendous dresses and weird fanciers and stuff. I mean, she had come so far. Why? Why? Are we back to the bell bottom, flared bottom jumpsuits again? Are we really going to channel the Crackerjack Kid? Is that what we're doing? Are we going back there again? Let me know. I'm just asking for a friend. And lastly, you guys, um, is that the last? Yes, it is. I just want to close with this. Charles Charles could have had this image and even filled it with more children, more prince and princesses, if you will. But because of this scheming and conniving between himself and Camilla, William and Kate, I'm not even sure that the Welleses will be there for his next big birthday. I'm not sure they'll be there, but this is what could have been, but will never be, because how do they say it? Pride cometh before the fall. Vanity, arrogance, that benign arrogance is the undoing for all of those people except for the Sussexes, but and of course the children are innocent, but those four adults, aside from Harry and Meghan, they done messed up. They have really messed up. I mean, they done messed up, and there's no returning. They're at a point of no return. They have reached a complete impasse. The Sussexes are thriving in Montecito, where there are no leaks. They don't have a handle on what Harry and Meghan are doing, and that bothers them. They have lost control of the message. They definitely have lost any implied control that they've had of the Sussexes. And Harry and Meghan have pretty much demanded the greatest amount of popularity and attention. Now, popularity does not mean everybody likes you, but popularity in that from start to finish, whether you're in the United Kingdom or outside of it, every day there are more people interested in what they said, what they wore, who they're talking to, than the rest of that family that are totally, totally not relevant when it comes to the global stage. Charles probably has the most experience in that family when it comes to the world stage. And after Kenya, I would say that he's lost whatever edge that he. I'm trying to think, did he ever have an edge? Well, whatever he had, he ain't got it no more. So, And with that, you guys, I'm going to say good night. Thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And oh, one more thing, someone you should know. Happy 73rd birthday to Dr. Alexa Kennedy. Or is it Kennedy? Kennedy? She became the first Black woman to become a neurosurgeon in 1981. She also co invented a device to treat fluid buildup in the brain. Just someone you should know. You go, girl. You go. Talk about gifted hands. Talk about gifted hands. All right. So thank you very much. And I will see you all tomorrow. Our last word of the day is a right royal mess, as the saying goes. Thank you, Sugar Plum Cake. And let me see. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, moderators. Thank you all for your very generous and thoughtful contributions. And as always, we close with our queens. If I can find them. Nope, I don't have those. Did I have those? Well, anyway, I use these today. There we go. We're going to close with appreciation for our queens, for those amazing world leaders, the two people that are changing the world as we speak. Nothing will ever be the same thanks to the Sussexes. Okay, and I am going to cue the Ginger Avenger, and I will see you all tomorrow. Love you guys. Thanks, and good night.